Okay, welcome to today's lesson. In this video, we're going to look at IUPAC nomenclature of organic compounds. IUPAC nomenclature of organic compounds. So the word IUPAC stands for International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So nomenclature means naming. It's a system of naming. So here we're looking at how this organization names organic compounds, right? IUPAC nomenclature of organic compounds. So the first thing that we want to know here are the rules guiding the IUPAC nomenclature of organic compounds. So basically there are 5 rules, right? So the 5 rules are, the first thing is to identify the longest continuous carbon chain. You identify the longest continuous carbon chain, and then the next thing is to number the carbon atoms in the chain, in the main chain, and you start numbering from the side nearest the functional group. And then the third law is to identify and name substituents. If you have them there, identify and name the substituents and then assign numbers to each. And then the fourth thing to do is to arrange the substituents alphabetically and then add suffix for the functional group. And this is the order of priority of the functional groups. We have carboxylic acid, esters, aldehyde, ketones, alcohol, amines, alkenes, alkyne, and then the alkanes. So these are the order of priority of the functional group. So carboxylic acid is given more priority, followed by esters, followed by aldehyde, followed by ketones, followed by alcohol, followed by amines, followed by alkenes, alkynes, and then lastly the alkanes. So it can also come as a question that which of the following is more of priority in IUPAC nomenclature. So any of this can come in. So you should know the one that comes first so that you can be able to get the correct answer, right? So this is the order of the priority of the functional group. So we're going to take the first compound here. What is the IUPAC nomenclature of the compound below? What is the IUPAC nomenclature of the compound below? So this is the compound that we have. What is the IUPAC nomenclature of this compound? Right? So the first thing that you want to do is to apply the first rule, which is identify the longest continuous carbon chain. And then after identifying it, you start numbering the carbon atoms in the main chain, starting from the side nearest the functional group. So what is the longest continuous carbon chain here? It is this chain. It is the longest continuous carbon chain. So the second thing to do is to number the carbon atoms in the main chain, starting from the side nearest the functional group. So the functional group that is of priority here The functional group that is of priority here is the triple bond. The single bond is a functional group. This is a functional group. The triple bond is also a functional group. So the triple bond is of priority, and it is the what? The alkynes. The alkyne. So alkynes come before what? Alkene. Alkynes is the triple bond. Alkane is the single bond. Alkene is double bond, right? So double bond is given more priority than triple bond. Triple bond is given more priority than what? Single bond in IUPAC nomenclature. So the functional group that is of priority here is the triple bond, right? So the longest continuous carbon chain, this is it. And then we start numbering from the side closest to the functional group. So this is the side that is closest to the functional group of this compound, the functional group that is of priority. So we start numbering from here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is the correct numbering. You start numbering from the side closest to the functional group. If you start numbering from here, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a wrong numbering, right? This is wrong because you start numbering from the side closest to the functional group of priority, right? So this is a wrong number. This is the correct one. So what is therefore the name of this compound? So this compound is 1, 2, 3, 4 butene, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 butane, right? So this compound is butane. What does that tell you? It tells you that there are 4 carbon atoms, right? So we'll assign a number to each of the carbon atom, starting from the side nearest to the functional group. So the functional group is at position 1. So therefore, this compound is but1-ine. This is the IUPAC nomenclature of this compound, but1-ine. But tells you that there are 4 carbon atoms. 1-ine tells you that the triple bond, which is the main functional group, is at position 1, is at carbon 1. So this is but1-ine. Let's look at another example. What is the IUPAC nomenclature of the compound below? What is the IUPAC nomenclature of the compound below? So the first thing that you want to do is to identify the longest continuous carbon chain. So this is the longest continuous carbon chain, right? Then the next thing is to number the carbon atoms in the main chain, in this longest continuous carbon chain, starting from the side closest to the functional group, right? So if we number from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we number from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to ask you, which of them is the correct number? Obviously, the one at the top is the correct number. You know why? I'll tell you why. If we go back to the rules guiding IUPAC nomenclature, here I told you the order of priority of the functional group, right? While the carboxylic acid, esters, aldehyde, or ketones, alcohol, amines, alkenes, alkyne, and alkene. So alkenes is giving more priority. The double bond is giving more priority than what? The alkynes in IUPAC nomenclature. So we must number from the side closest to the main functional group, or to the functional group of priority, right? So this is the side that is more closest to the functional group. If we start numbering from here, the double bond will be at position 2. If we start numbering from this side, the double bond will be at position 3, right? At carbon 3. So this is the side that is closest to it. So the numbering on top is what is the correct numbering. So I'm going to wipe all this off, right? This is the correct numbering because this is where we have the side closest to the main functional group, which is what? The double bond. It is given more priority. So this compound is what? This compound is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 carbon atoms. So this compound is a pentine. We still name it using this triple bond because triple bond is actually more than the double bond, right? So this is a pentine, but carbon 2 is given more priority. So this is a pentine, but this double bond is given more priority in the IUPAC nomenclature. So we'll count from this side, right? So this is 1, 2. So that tells us that the double bond is at position what? 2. So double bond is at position 2. So this compound will be pent 2 in. In means what? Double bond, right? Pentene means double bond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the triple bond is at what? At position 4. So this is pent 2 in 4-ine. This is the IUPAC nomenclature of this compound. Pent means there are 5 carbon atoms in the longest continuous carbon chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? 2 means 2-in means the double bond is at carbon 2, right? Is located at carbon 2. Then 4-in means that the triple bond is located at what? Carbon 4. So this is pen 2-in 4-in. This is the IUPAC nomenclature of this compound. It's very straightforward and simple. So let's look at the last example that I have here. What is the IUPAC nomenclature of the compound below? So I have this compound. The first thing that you want to do is to identify the longest continuous carbon chain, right? So the longest continuous carbon chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the longest continuous carbon chain. Then the next thing is to number the carbon atoms in the longest continuous carbon chain, starting from the side nearest to the functional group. So the functional groups in these compounds are the single bonds and the triple bond. So the one that is given more priority is what? The triple bond. So we'll start numbering from the side closest to the triple bond. So if we start numbering from this side, it will be wrong. But if we start numbering from this side, it will be right, because this is the side that is closest to the functional group. So I'll start numbering from here. So this will be my carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5, carbon 6, carbon 7, and carbon 8. Right? So that tells us that this compound is octine. This is the parent compound. Octine is an octine. Oct means 8. Oct means 8. Ine means triple bond. So this is an octine. This is the longest continuous carbon chain, right? So the next thing is to identify the next thing to do is to identify the different substituents that are attached to the longest continuous carbon chain, right? So in position 2, at this carbon 2, I have two substituents attached to the carbon 2. I have a methyl group at the top and I have a methyl group at the bottom. So that's the substituents. The substituents are at carbon 2. I have a 2-methyl group, right? So that's dimethyl. So I have 2-dimethyl, right? 2-dimethyl. What does this tell you? It tells you that at carbon 2, this 2 tells you that at carbon 2, I have 2-methyl group. Di means 2, methyl, right? So at carbon 2, I have 2-methyl group. That is what this statement symbolizes. That at carbon 2, which is the carbon 2 here, I have 2-methyl group, dimethyl, 2-methyl group, right? So the next thing, I still have another substituent here. So this is at carbon 6. So at 6, I have a methyl group. I have just one methyl group, and that's the methyl group here, right? So the triple bond is at carbon 3, is located at carbon 3. So this parent compound will be oct3-ine. It will be oct3-ine. So if I put all these together, this compound will be 2, 2, 6, 2, 2, 6. Where is this 2, 2, 6 coming from? I will explain later. So this is 2, 2, 6 trimethyl oct3-ine, right? So this is the IUPAC nomenclature of this compound. These 2, 2, 2, 6 trimethyl tells you that there are 3 methyl groups attached to this compound, right? 2, 2, 6 means that there are 2, 2, 6 means that there is one methyl group at position 2, there is another methyl group at position 2, then there is another methyl group at position 6, right? So that's the 2, 2, 6 trimethyl oct3-ine. 3 means that, or 3-ine means that the triple bond is located at what? Carbon 3. So again, this compound is 2,2,6 trimethyl alk 3-ine. 2,2,6 trimethyl alk 3-ine. Again, 2,2 means that 2,2,6 trimethyl means that there are 3 methyl groups. 2 are attached to the second carbon atom, and one of them is attached to the 6th carbon atom. So that's why we have 2,2,6 trimethyl alk 3-ine, right? So this is the IUPAC nomenclature of this compound. That is simple and straightforward. So with this, we come to the end of today's lesson. See you in our next lesson.